Hey everyone, it's Tracy here coming at you with my 3-month surgiversary. 3 months. I am post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy, and my surgery date was May 22nd, 2017 at Trinity Bariatrics with Dr. Joseph Colella, and today's date is August 22nd, 2017. Sorry, the camera angle is a little wonky. I apologize. I have it in the upright position, which I know some of you do not like, and I apologize, but I'm going to do a body shot later, and I'm not real good with the editing thing. As a matter of fact, this is my 4th attempt to make this video already this morning. I started this process over an hour ago, and still do not have a video for you. Here we go, and hopefully this will be the final cut. Okay guys, and I apologize about not looking directly in the camera the way it sits. It's just weird for me. So if you catch me looking into my own reflection, I apologize and sorry about the hiccups. So there's a few things I want to talk about today, but first off I'm going to talk about my stats. So, okay, my high weight was May of 2016. I weighed 330 pounds. I am now 39 years old and I am 5'4". My surgery weight was 304 pounds. My last month's surgiversary weigh-in was 270.5 pounds. And today I weighed in at 263.1 pounds. So that's a total loss for the month of 7.4 pounds. After the month I've had, I will take it because I've had a gain and slow losses and chronic constipation, depression. So those of you who have watched any of my last 4 videos, you know I've been struggling. For those of you who have congratulated me on my 40-pound down, I thank you because it was well earned and hard worked for. So I appreciate the support. So 7.4 pounds down for the month. I was hoping for 10, but I'll take it. So if next month I get 5, I'll take that because I know with each month it gets less and less. You work harder and harder and you lose less. I understand. I know that my calories are higher than some of you like. I also know that I can eat more than some of you like, and I have been told that I shouldn't be able to. I understand. I don't feel I should either, but my surgeon says it's normal. They said that they want me to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week and no more. They don't mind if I lose more, but they understand that 1 to 2 is normal expectations. And if I lose more, it's a bonus, but they don't want me to put that pressure on myself to lose more. For those of you who are losing more, it is normal and acceptable too. So it's not a problem either which way. I know that some of you have problems swallowing afterwards, and I've not had that problem. Some of you have severe restrictions so that you're unable to drink or eat very much at all. Some of you still can't get past 4 ounces of food. I can eat a whole cup. Sometimes I can eat more than that. It depends on what the food is. To be 100% honest, it is a lot of self-control, even at this early stage of the game for me. I'm not going to lie to you. I can sit and eat 2,000 calories if I was let myself. I have discovered a lot about myself in this last month, especially the last month. I know it's my 3rd month out, and I should have discovered a lot of things about myself through this process, which I have, and I know I don't discuss a lot of NSVs with you guys. I do have a few, and I'll try to discuss them, but the biggest thing is right now is eating and exercising. Making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So for me, that's what I talk about because that's where my focus is. You know that I work 10-hour days, and I come home, I do school, and within 2 months, I will be starting internship as well. I'm a single mother, and it's a lot of chaos, but I'm trying, and I know I'm not the only one in that boat. So for those of you with it going on in your life, I recognize the struggle. So I can relate. Okay, so I want to break down my losses in regards to since surgery. I have lost 40.9 pounds, almost 41. And since my high weight, I have lost 66.9 pounds. I do have a goal. This is my week 13 week still. So by week 15, and I know to you guys it won't seem like much being that I weighed in at 263.1 pounds. But by week 15, I would like to be in the 250s. The lowest weight I've seen in my adult weight, other than like losing weight rapidly right after pregnancies or something, but my lowest adult weight that was something I maintained was 240 pounds. I've noticed that my body is happy in the 260s, and that's awful for me. But that's where my body wanted to sit this month, was in the 260s. I struggled to get from the 270s out of the 260s. So if I can get in the 250s, I'll be happy. And then my next goal will be the 240s. And then I will honestly tell you, it has been years. I was 225 pounds when I got pregnant for my son, and I was 19 when I gave birth to him. I weighed 235 pounds, and then up from there. I only gained 10 pounds throughout my pregnancy. I was fortunate, but I had lost 25 pounds in the early stages, so technically I had gained 35 pounds, if you count the losses and the gains. But anyhow, so I have not seen below 225 pounds since I was 19 years old. I had a gallbladder issue after my son was born, and my gallbladder actually exploded. I had to have emergency surgery. I had internal bleeding for 10 days, and I had lost a massive amount of weight due to the poisons in my system. My son was born. I went down to 199 pounds, and I was 19 years old, and that's literally, it was because of my gallbladder, and we just did not know it. That's why I was losing weight during the pregnancy, and we had no idea. So ultimately, my gallbladder issues, and I lost weight after the surgeries. I went down to 160 pounds, but I don't count that because it was such a fluke in my life, and it did not last long. I literally was back in the 200s within 6 months. So I just, like I said, I don't count that as my lowest weight. But to be honest, if I could get to 160 pounds again, I would be completely ecstatic. That is a perfect stopping weight for me, and actually I may be too thin there. It's just the way the bone structure of my body is. Everybody complained about how thin I was then, that my cheeks were sunk in, that my rib cage was showing, my hip bones were bulging. So, and I know that's crazy, 160 pounds sounds like, a normal body, but for me, even though I'm only 5'4", I have a very bony structure. I don't know why. It's just right now you can't see that. So anyhow, enough rambling about that. That's pretty much my goal, and I wanted to discuss a little bit about what I've discovered about myself in this process. And for those of you who have discovered these things too, this process is a total mindfuck. So if you don't like cursing, I apologize, but I'm just going to be me. I'm going to be real, and like I've said before, I don't edit. That's why I attempt to make these videos multiple times. So anyways, I grew up with the finish your plate mentality. And I know a lot of us did. A lot of us grew up where our parents told us what you put on your plate, you finish. My parents even made our plates. So that was very much unfair. So, but anyways, long story short, I grew up very poor. Like, food stamps poor. Not ashamed of it. It made me who I am today. And it's part of my history and part of why I am the way I am. A lot of processed foods because they last longer. A lot of buy foods early in the month to hopefully last the month, and you have to be very careful how much you eat. And we had a family of 5, so we had to share a lot of food. And That's just the way it was. Sometimes there was enough, you'd be satisfied, and other times you weren't. And this isn't anything I hold against my parents. A lot of people may, but I don't. It made me a strong person. And it taught me, my dad hunted and he went mushroom hunting and taught us a lot of the things that we can eat in nature. And, you know, I know what sassafras root is. I know how to make tea out of it. I know that you can eat certain barks. I know that you can eat certain mushrooms. I know that wild potatoes grow in the woods. I know there's ginseng root and blood root, and there's medicinal roots and plants and herbs in the woods that you can use. And my dad has taught us those things, so we have some survival skills. And not that we had to do those things, it's just he was raised that way, and so he taught us those skills, and I value them. And morel mushrooms, if any of you have had morel mushrooms, you can relate. They call them the steak mushroom because they are a meal in of themselves. They are very expensive to buy in a store. But my dad would come home and fill the sink full with them. And he'd do this daily during mushroom season. And we'd clean them and freeze them. They were amazing. I love them fried in butter. I love them battered. And I haven't had them in years because I myself have never had luck finding them, but I have friends that walk into the woods and they're all around them. So anyways, it's just something that I've never been good at. So I hope to try that next mushroom season after I've lost some weight and can walk through the woods and be not unhealthy, not miserable doing it. So I'm going to attempt some of those old skills just because my kids have never had morel mushrooms either. And it's an experience I want them to have. So anyhow, I know a lot of us grew up with that. My parents were raised with the finish your plate. I was raised with the finish your plate. And I actually raised my kids that way, which is a regret I do have. So I should have taught them, don't put more on your plate than you want. You can always go back for more instead of finish your plate, because that mentality has messed with me. I think that's what hindered me this last month, because I was full and I put too much. Your eyes are bigger than your belly, and almost literally after this surgery, some days. I don't feel a lot of restriction, but I do get full. It's not restriction. I just know that I've had enough. Sometimes that's a half of what I put in my bowl or half of what I put in my plate. And so I sit it off to the side and I have to finish my plate. I'll finish it later. Those are calories I don't need. You know, I'm already full. But I catch myself grazing and snacking on it for hours and not drinking. So there were times I wasn't getting my fluids. I got my minimum. But I like to get 100 ounces. And my minimum is 68. So that's the minimum doctor wants me to have. Sorry, I bumped the tripod. That's the minimum the doctor wants me to have, and I prefer and I feel more comfortable at 100 ounces a day. So there were times that I would eat instead of, sorry, that was going to hiccup. I would eat instead of drink, and that is something that I really don't want to continue. So I'm trying to defeat my finish your plate mentality. So the dog gets a lot of food that he shouldn't get, because at least then the plate's getting finished. That's a little ways, I guess. I don't know. That's something else. All these years, I've always said obesity runs in my family. It does. Yes, it does. Very much so. And I use that as an excuse. You know, I'm big boned because all the women on both sides of my family are big boned. Excuse me, I need a drink. And sorry about the Christmas cup. It's the biggest one I have. It's my protein coffee. Sorry. But, so I use that as basically a cop-out to excuse it that I was big. I also tell everybody, just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm lazy, which I am not by any means a lazy person. However, I have discovered that yes, I am a bit of a couch potato. The reality is, I'm a glutton. I was a binge eater. I could go all day. I was never hungry. And that's not a lie. I was never hungry. And I would come home from work and eat my first meal of the day 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening and eat nonstop till bed. Pretty much munching and grazing. I could eat 3,000 calories from 5 to 10. I know a lot of people don't realize you can eat 5,000 calories in a meal, depending on what that meal is. Sorry. So, the reality of me discovering that I'm a glutton was a mind fuck. Because I've been in denial of that. You know, I don't eat much. I rarely eat. That's part of the problem. You know, I'm finding myself getting back into those patterns, which my physician's assistant corrected me on, very much so, at my appointment on Thursday. She told me I cannot continue to skip meals. I can't. And she's right. I was skipping my breakfast. I do drink protein shakes throughout the day, but I wasn't putting any real sustenance in. I could skip my breakfast and lunch, not have a problem. Drinking my waters all day and come home and get back into that mentality. And then I was eating a day's worth of calories with my small pouch. I would eat, give it an hour, eat, give it an hour, eat. Yeah, I was there again. It sucks. It sucks when you realize that you went through all this and you're still doing the same things. So it's not just the amount of food we have to change. That's surgically done for us. We can't eat as much, but we can eat as many calories if you let yourself. Believe me, you can fool yourself to do it. I've been there already. It's a lifestyle change, and you have to get in your own head. I'm a therapist. You'd think that food addiction, I would have caught that. You know, I am an addiction counselor. I was in denial, guys. And reality is, I'm going to relapse. It's going to happen. This tool helps me. That is why I did this. That is why I had this surgery, because I needed a tool that would help me to get myself under control. Yes, I can't eat a whole pizza, at least in one sitting. Give me 2 days, I could eat that whole pizza. You know, if I allowed myself. I don't. I do not. I have had, since this whole process, 2 slices of pizza in 3 months, and literally like that size. Sometimes I can't even finish the crust. So those of you who follow me on Instagram, you see I'm a pizza fanatic, guys. I am pizza. So I make crustless pizzas a lot, or I will make the 6-inch flour tortillas. I will put pizza on that. Or I can make a pizza on a zucchini, and it's like a French bread pizza. So, and like on my Fabulous Tracy Facebook, I posted pictures of a lasagna I made. I used a veggie peeler and sliced a huge zucchini into strips. And I used that as noodles. And I made a pizza lasagna with zucchini noodle. And it was really good. And I had more than enough. I have to freeze a lot of it. So it was unique. It was a texture. It's going to take some getting used to give up noodles. But hey, it's a process here. You know, I would much rather have to adjust. Now, those of you who watched some of my last videos, you may remember I said the flat outs were a waste of my money. Those of you who like them, great. And like I said, maybe over time, I'm giving them time. I'm eating them with different things to try to change the taste. You know, I just still, it's a texture thing for me. Flour tortillas are worth the calories and the carbs on the days I've cut back on it. I definitely have, because those of you who know, I'm a wrap person. I just like the wraps, but I've also discovered I am extremely super carb sensitive. A wrap is enough to keep me holding weight. So I've been doing like the roast beef and cheese and wrapping those together, you know. Sometimes I'll eat. Sorry. I apologize. It's going to be a little shaky as I put my phone back in my tripod. Sorry, guys. I dropped you. But apparently it's time to stop my video. And I'm not taking that out. I will warn everybody at 20 minutes that my video will fall. For those of you who get vertigo, I apologize. Well, anyways, I was talking about the roast beef and cheese wraps. That's pretty much what I've been doing, turkey and cheese, whatever. I'm going to do some wraps with salami cream cheese today. That's just kind of what I'm craving, so I'm going to go for it. But I've discovered, like I said, a lot about myself, and with those things, as we discover those things, it may not be pretty, guys. And you may do as I have done and become very emotional, and that's why they say therapy is very important through this process. I am fortunate to have a huge support factor in my life, and without that, I don't know if I would be able to get through the emotional parts of this. That's also why I'm not beginning any new relationships during this transformation. I've had a few people ask me out, and I've been single. I know this is probably TMI, whatever, but get to know me a little bit. I have been single for a year and 6 months, completely single. Completely single. Not a date, not a friend, nothing. I have done that on purpose because I was on a discovery of myself mission and improving myself mission, and that's what I did. So that's where I've been, and that's okay with me. But I know that during this weight loss process, I'm going through a lot mentally, and I don't know who I'm going to be at the end of this process. So I would hate for somebody to get into a relationship with me, fall in love with who I am right now, and I not be that person 6 months from now. That's not fair to them, and it's not fair to me. It's not fair to my children to find somebody that they connect with and me leave them, or them leave me because of the person I become. So that's just not in the cards right now, and that's okay. I continue to be friends with the fellows who are asking, and tell them that if they're truly interested, they'll be here through this process, and they'll get to know me as I change and grow. And if they like the person I am when I'm ready, then we can do that. I mean, I'm not cutting them out of my life. I'm just not willing to be anything more than friends. And that includes dates. And I don't want anyone to waste their time. Not that I'm a waste of time, because I'm amazing, and I know it. I'm a catch, and I know it. But, it's not arrogance, guys. I love me, and that's what this process has done for me. Taking time for you, dating yourself, learning what you like, learning the things that you will not compromise from your life. I have rules, the things that I will no longer accept. I am a hard-working woman with goals for the future. And if the guy in my life doesn't have those same goals, or at least partly, we're not going to work. It's just the way it is. I used to settle for that, compromise and become what they wanted. Not anymore. I'm worth more than that. And I don't want anyone to change to be what I want them to be. I just want to find the person that I deserve and be the person that they deserve. So until that time happens, I'm not ready. And I'm okay with that. My dad made a comment about me going into 40 single. And remember, you're not getting any younger. And that's okay, because I get better with age. So I'm okay with it. Anyways, guys, until next time, I have my week 14 video next Monday. And I'll try to stay on track. I got behind week 12 and 13. A lot of emotional stuff. Anyways, that's why my 2 last videos are very short. This one's very long. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to do my full body bikini top and boy shorts skin flick, and then I'll end the video. So let me pause it. For those of you who say bikini top and shorts is a bit much skin, you might want to leave now. So till next time, bye guys. For those of you willing to stay, give me a moment.